Honestly, this add-on is super awesome, and I think it's one of the best add-ons of all time, not just in the first half of this year. Hello, this is Spyderrock, and welcome to the top 10 add-ons of 2022 so far. Today I'm going to be going over what I think are the 10 best add-ons to have come out or received major updates this year. And there are a few disclaimers I'd like to make beforehand. I'm not going to be including any of my add-ons for obvious reasons. I'm not going to be including any maps with add-ons, any add-on packs. And there are some things that would probably make it onto this list, but I just simply haven't tried them. I do try a ton of add-ons though to figure out which ones I want to use for my videos, so I think pretty confidently that everything in here is still going to be top tier, best of the best kind of stuff. And as always, you can find links to download all of these add-ons in the description. Anyway, to start with an honorable mention, I have the Minecraft Vehicles add-ons by Mark. This is a collection of add-ons that each add in their own vehicles. And while each add-on on its own only adds in like a vehicle and then maybe some color customization for the vehicle and a place to get the vehicle, in total, I think if they were to all be together as one add-on, it would be one of the best add-ons ever made. However, because they're all separated, I just wanted to put this in as an honorable mention because I still think it deserves really good credit for, you know, existing and stuff. I mean, there's cars, then helicopters, planes, all kinds of stuff. Before I get into the number 10 spot, I would like to mention that there is no specific ordering. Like, most of these could be interchanged with one another. Just anything that's higher up on the list, or I guess closer to number 1, is generally gonna be something that I enjoyed more. However, these are all, I mean, I could swap around the position of 10, 9, and 8, for example, or 1, 2, and 3. You know, it's just kind of like that. So without further ado, the number 10 spot is the Moresoless Snore add-on by Happy Cannon 27. This has been around for a while, but it got a pretty big update on Easter, and I did want to mention it because it's just a general item expansion type add-on. It adds in a ton of new mobs, items, structures, things like that, all kinds of stuff, and there really just is so much to mess around with. I mean, there's custom blocks with traps and stuff. You've got stuff for Easter now with the Easter update, like a carrot sword or a golden egg. There's a bunch of new big upgraded dungeons, magical staffs type things, some new bosses. There's even a biome that does come with this. However, since the biomes got broken in an update earlier this year, it stopped working, but this is still a really great add-on to check out. At the number 9 spot is the Survival Plains add-on by Egg Slayer. This is an add-on that I think is probably the most generally like survival viable implementation of planes. It adds in a ton of planes as well as crafting tables for the planes, pilot suits. You have to fuel the planes, you need a key or a repair kit. You can repair them. I mean, there's wrenches, and then there's a bunch of different types of plane. Of course, you have your different types as in, you know, wood, gold, redstone, lapis, iron, diamond, copper, emerald, netherite, or iron, but you also have things like biplanes, airplanes, airliners, bomber plane type things, and they all have very different styles, and I think all of the models are actually pretty good. There's even some amphibious planes that will float on water, and you can get like bullets so you can shoot out of the planes. You can get bombs that you can use to drop from the planes. It's really impressive, and I think for plane add-ons, as far as they go, this is probably like the best out there in general. At the number 8 spot is the Magic Madness add-on by Soundless R. This is an add-on that adds in basically some magic staffs that give you magic abilities. But the cool thing about this add-on is that it adds in a new mana bar type thing, which drains and comes back like you would expect. You know, with health or with hunger, you have mana that's used up when you use your staffs. You can also get mana potions, and then there's a bunch of different staffs that all have really nice custom 3D models, but also each staff has a bunch of different abilities that depend on how long you hold back the staff before you unleash it. And so this adds a really like skill-based thing, but also just makes a generally fun way to have a ton of different abilities. So you could have someone playing as a fire ability person and someone playing as an ice ability person, and you wouldn't just be stuck to, oh, I can throw a fireball and oh, you can slow people down, but you would actually have a ton of different things you can do with your staff. And that's why I think this is just generally one of the most fun add-ons. Plus, there's a bunch of different like spells. Let's see, under fire, there's 10 different spells. For example, a flame, which shoots a fireball, flare, fire resistance, fire breath, scorch, heat wave, eruption, inferno rage, blaze, guardian, and meteor. And there's like, I think 10 different spells for almost all of them, and if not all of them, except for just like the basic regular wand. At the number 7 spot is the Dark Age Bazaar add-on by Peter Gamer XD. This is an add-on that adds in a bunch of new stuff in terms of like bosses and structures and weapons, and it's just generally a kind of expansion with a bunch of like bosses and mini bosses and things like that. It's a really fun thing to play, and there's some really cool items like this little glove thing that shoots tornadoes, or this like wooden mech you can ride around in. There's a bunch of new types of like armor and stuff too, and it's just generally a really fun add-on to play and a really good expansion to the vanilla game, I think. Plus, all of the models for the bosses and things are really good. Like, they look really cool. Honestly, I think my favorite is probably the ice golem, maybe. The ice golem looks really awesome, and it like actually looks like ice, so it's pretty sick. At the number 6 spot is the Unofficial Mobs add-on by Gabriel Cape. So this is an add-on based off of a Java mod, and you know, I was hesitant to put this on the list because the Java mod was like the original thing, but this is a, I think, from the ground up recreation for Bedrock of this Java mod, and it adds in a bunch of bosses and some weapons, and it's generally really high quality. Like, this is some of the highest quality I've seen from any add-on, and I'm honestly really impressed with it and how it works. And so it has a handful of different bosses and things, and in general, I had a really fun time playing around with this add-on, spawning in bosses and mobs, and fighting them and whatnot, and just seeing like their animations look so good, and the sounds and everything about them, just generally really high quality bosses to fight, with some really high quality custom weapons and a whole bunch of things, so definitely worth checking out. At the number 5 spot is the Wastelanders add-on by the WTF Verse. This is an add-on that basically transforms your entire Minecraft game into something like Fallout. This adds in these structures that spawn around that you can get, like these buildings, these abandoned nuclear war distraught buildings where you can go and explore, and they have blocks that will make you fall through the floor, and you have to navigate these buildings, and then of course like just the wasteland to actually survive. And so you have to find things like canned food and things like that, and it's a lot of fun. Plus the buildings can sometimes spawn together in like whole on cities, and so you can have like these big cities full of abandoned buildings that have been abandoned because they've been destroyed by nuclear weapons. And so in general, it's a really nicely made add-on. Like, the textures are good, the buildings and the structures are all really good, and it's a lot of fun to explore this world. It's just like a complete overhaul, custom blocks and everything, biomes have been replaced, trees no longer spawn with leaves, things like that. So it's generally really cool. At number 4 is the Basic Machinery add-on by IE Motionless. This is an add-on to go with the previous Advanced Machinery add-on, which is still one of my favorite add-ons of all time. But this is the Basic Machinery add-on, which is separate from Advanced Machinery in that instead of just having a power core where you hold all of the, you know, power and you just have things that generate it, you actually have to connect things with cables. I will say this add-on is a little bit lacking in terms of the models, but they get the job done. I mean, hey, it's just machinery. The fun of this add-on and what I really love is having different cables to connect different things. So you have fluid cables to connect fluid, you have cables that can connect with the electrical power, and so if you want to, you can actually build a power plant. And I did this. I had this add-on on a world, and I had a ton of fun with my friends building a giant power plant and then routing power to everybody's houses with these power cables. And then inside of all of our houses, we had big generators generating all kinds of ores and things. And there's all kinds of stuff. There's ways that you can mine, like drill into the ground, and you have to connect them with the power cables. It's just a really satisfying machinery type add-on. Honestly, I think it's one of the best ones out there. At the number 3 spot is Salcians Quest. I hope I said that okay. Maybe it's Salcians Quest by Zalcian or Zalcian. This is an add-on that adds in some really cool new biomes with new bosses and mobs to fight, as well as some new items and new structures. And in terms of new biomes, honestly, I don't know that any of these actually generate still after the newest update. But all of these biomes, assuming they do work, are really cool, and they really do add a lot to the game. They're like seriously really well made biomes that are just complete new experiences to see, and the polish on this add-on is amazing. Everything is just made so high quality and looks so nice, and the structures are great, and there's these blasters you can get and all kinds of things to fight and meet, and there's, I don't even know, there's munch poogs that you can throw emeralds to trade, and there's Borg spiders, and it's just such a creative thing, but it's made so well. The textures are amazing, the biomes and structures are great. It's just a really high quality good add-on. At the number 2 spot is the ROT, or ROT, I don't know how to say it necessarily, add-on by Moises Gaming. This is the fundamental server or realms add-on, and I think everything in this add-on, it's just blown me away what this creator can do. I've watched them stream it, I've seen firsthand what they do to make the add-on, and it's insane. But this add-on, it allows you to have a ton of custom commands, stuff like land claiming, spawn points. There's a help command where you can see all kinds of information about the add-on. You can see all the commands, and there's a ton of commands. There's warps, there's like fly abilities. You can make text appear, you can have vanish. This add-on adds what most like Java servers and some Bedrock servers, I guess, with plugins have. It really gives you that whole experience that you get from a server, and it's super high quality. Everything in this add-on is made really well, and there's even like some auctioning thing that's being worked on. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say that. There's even some new features that are being worked on that are just really cool. So if you're into setting up a world or a server or like a realm or something where you think that a lot of people are going to be playing on, or even just a world that you're playing with some friends that you kind of want to mess around with, this is definitely an add-on worth trying out. At the number 1 spot, or at least what I have right now for what I think is the best add-on of the year, is the Hidwoods 2 add-on. So for context, a while ago I showcased the Hidwoods add-on, which was a really cool add-on that reworked the game. It had its fair share of issues and it was kind of like strange. Well, Hidwoods 2 came around to just completely change everything. It replaces the entire overworld with new biomes, blocks, items, entities, and more. I guess I read that straight from the page, but it adds in a ton of mobs and I think some like bosses and things, but a ton of mobs and structures and blocks, and kind of replaces and reworks everything. And you have a whole custom UI and this little guy that flies around with you. It basically turns your game into a different game altogether, and that's what's so cool about it. Like, I was playing this and it felt like I was playing Minecraft, but it also didn't. And the level of quality this was, this could be its own standalone game. Like, that's what I mean. It's super high quality, super cool stuff, and it's made so well and it feels so good. You can even customize your robot, and I'm sure this is still like pretty early in, you know, being worked on, or maybe it's completely done, I don't know, but it feels so good, and I'm really hoping that more gets added to it, but it's already got so much going for it. So honestly, this add-on is super awesome, and I think it's one of the best add-ons of all time, not just in the first half of this year. The level of quality here is really beyond anything I've seen before. I'm just a really big fan of this add-on, I guess. I haven't played with it much outside of the video I made on it, but I really would like to. I mean, your little thing has an X-ray ability, there's like algae that grows on river, there's just so much, and it's all so well made. It's really cool. It's really cool. So of course, if you're interested in any of these add-ons, feel free to check them out in the description. This has been a good first half of the year for add-ons. There have been a lot of good things that have come out. I know I'm working on some things that I was hoping to get out in the first half of the year, but it really didn't happen, and it probably won't happen for a while, but things are being worked on, and I do know a bunch of creators are working on some really cool things, and so there's a lot to look forward to for the rest of the year. I wonder if any of these will be on my list for the top 10 of the year in total. Who knows, honestly, with some of the stuff that's being worked on, it's just really impressive. So anyway, thanks for watching. If you made it to here, see you later, and goodbye.